The clock is ticking for ANC Secretary-General Ace Magashule. The party is investigating reported links between him and the ATM. He's accused of forming the new political party, one that was set up to take the heat off Jacob Zuma. So what does this mean for the Secretary-General and his fracturing power base, and what does this mean for the already fractionalized ANC leadership? Tonight I discuss this with political analyst Sam Khoma, who's with me in the studio, and ATM leader Vuyo Zungula joins us on the line from Cape Town to give the party's reaction to this. Very good to have you with us, Vuyo Zungula. What is your response to the action the ANC is going to take?
Evening, Jane. Firstly, we're repeating the same message we've been preaching for I think over a year, that there is no involvement of any ANC member in the formation and the operations of the ATM. These claims were put forward by Mr. Ngulwana in his affidavit. Now, there was supposed to be a court case on last Tuesday. He withdrew the court case on the 11th hour, which clearly shows that his affidavit was without basis, and that's why he did not want it to go to the court to be tested.
No, I mean, he went to court to get the party deregistered, but not to change his claims of the setting up of the party by, he said, Jacob Zuma and Ace Magashule.
Yes, look, all of these claims were on his affidavit, which formed the basis of him wanting to take the party to court. Now, he has withdrawn the court case, and he cannot provide any evidence claiming, showing that Mr. Magashule or Mr. Zuma were part of the formation, whereas there's evidence of him meeting Mr. Ramaphosa. So maybe what needs to be investigated by the ANC, this Mr. Ngulwana, who is he working with the ANC when he's making these claims?
Okay, I mean, we obviously did try to get the ANC onto the show, but weren't able to do so. So are you saying that the ANC is wasting their time investigating this?
Definitely, because there is no involvement whatsoever. I am the leader of the party. I was involved even before the party was registered. Not in any occasion that we've met, nor discussed with any person from the ANC.
Okay, so why did you set up the party, and why are these allegations swirling around as they have been for the last year?
I'm glad that you raised that up, that there were allegations for like a year. And all of these allegations, they have not been supported with any evidence whatsoever. Now, the ATM is a political party formed by the people. Obviously, the people that are in control of the country are afraid of what we as the ATM have in store for the people of South Africa. Hence, they try to do so many things to try and discredit the ATM. It was Mr. Zuma, now it is Mr. Ace Magashule. One person might just wonder, why are they so obsessed with the ATM?
All right, Vuyo Zungula, thank you very much for talking to us. Let's bring in Sam Khoma there. I mean, we wouldn't expect anything less from the party, but clearly trouble is brewing.
It is brewing. It is unprecedented in the history of the ANC that a sitting SG faces an internal probe. So these are serious allegations leveled against the SG, but it is good that the ANC has taken a decision to say, let's subject these allegations to a fact-finding process. And it has to be made clear that this is not a disciplinary proceeding. It is a fact-finding process, and it falls within the authority of the NEC to appoint an ad hoc committee and give them terms of reference and time frame to look at the veracity of this allegation. So Ace Magashule is going to be subjected to that internal process, and it is good that they've assembled a panel of elders and people who have integrity and experience of having dealt with disciplinary issues before. So that panel is going to also involve some of the witnesses who happen to be members of the ATM, and also afford Ace Magashule an opportunity to also state his own case. Once the panel concludes its work, we're not sure about the time frames, because if this process is given, say, 30 days or 60 days or 90 days, Ace Magashule will have to take leave of absence pending the completion of the process. So we are likely not to see him around for some time while the Deputy Secretary General assumes some of the functions. So once the
So what is happening with him? I mean, you already feel that the tide is turning. Something's changed in the country, right? You know, we've seen the Dlamini stepping down. She's followed other MPs stepping down. You feel that the clean-up process is possibly happening. The clipping of his wings, you know, when he spoke out after the Reserve Bank, the fact that they're going to limit his communications.
Yeah, exactly. These are interesting developments that are taking place. Definitely there's a power shift within the ANC, especially if you look at today's announcement that the NWC has taken a decision to recommend the disbandment of the ANC Youth League NEC. So that matter has to be finalized by the ANC NEC. So that also tells us that there is some political realignment. Cyril Ramaphosa seems to be gaining some control of the ANC if some of the decisions and developments are anything to go by. ANC in KZN, for the first time, has acted against one of the most powerful chairperson of the biggest region of the ANC, which is Zanele Gumete. That also indicates that the whole renewal program of the ANC, led by the president, seems to be gaining ground. But it's still early days to
and those who've been sitting on the
conclusions.
fence, obviously this is the time for them to move over to Cyril Ramaphosa's side.
Exactly.
Makes you wonder who Ace Magashule can now rely on, other than the public protector.
Yeah, because also you remember the Estini Dairy Farm project. The investigation still has to be concluded by the public protector. His name has been implicated in the State Capture Commission by the former MEC Dukwana, who was in the Free State, who seems to have a lot of knowledge about the workings of Ace Magashule while he was still the Premier of the Free State. So a lot of interesting developments are taking place, but we are eventually we may see some decisive action taken by the ANC NEC against its...
Because if it is found that he was involved in the setup, I mean, that's...
Yeah, that will then... because this is a panel.
Where it leaves your position.
Yeah, exactly. This is a fact-finding process which may lead to a disciplinary proceeding, which will be instituted by the NEC, informed by the recommendation of the panel. So if there is prima facie evidence that is before the panel will then make a recommendation to the NEC to institute a disciplinary proceeding against the SG. And the SG will then have to face that particular disciplinary proceeding, which will be led by the subcommittee of the ANC, which is the National Disciplinary Committee. Then it's another lengthy process that may also eventually arrive at certain conclusions. But the NEC finally will make a decision on any of the reports that will be furnished before it.
Okay, so I mean, certainly interesting times ahead. It'll be interesting for ATM as well if this is proved to be true. And you wondered where it leaves Jacob Zuma and his dwindling support.
Yeah, and also some may ask, why is JZ or Jacob Zuma not also brought into this matter? Because the allegation, as per the affidavit, implicates both gentlemen. But remember, Jacob Zuma is an ex-official member of the NEC. The only structure that can institute a disciplinary proceeding against him is a branch which he belongs to, not the NEC, because he's an ex-official member. But you're right. This may also tell us that it seems his support is dwindling within the structures of the ANC, especially if you look at the NEC in this instance, and also to some extent the ANC Youth League, and also the ANC...
The number of disgruntled...
And the alliance partners...
I mean, you know, could they prove to be a destabilizing force?
Which are you referring to?
The number of disgruntled, you know, the MPs that have obviously been asked to step down, the ANC Youth League there, I mean...
Yeah, I think...
What sort of force could they prove to be?
I don't think they have a potential to disrupt the renewal program of the ANC, because broadly, especially the president, he now has solid support from the alliance partners, COSATU, SSCP, and also SANCO. He's got support from, I think, 7 provinces solidly rallying behind him. So if they're able to take this kind of a decision just after the election, it tells us that they're now willing to take bold and decisive actions against any official who may be implicated in any wrongdoing. And that serves them well because they're not facing any elective conference within the ANC. So they're just coming out of a national election. They've lost 30 seats, so they are rattled. They have to take some action because they're now gearing up for the 2021 local government elections. So by the time they get into the local government elections, they should have been able to rally everyone towards a common program and also common vision.
Sankuma, interesting times still.
Very interesting, yeah.
Still ahead, a call for mayors to use public transport. Is this the best way to save municipalities from financial crisis?